information and keep sharing the information and keep educating yourself so that you can maybe help somebody else understand, speak in a language that they can understand. You know, like the movies and the TV isn't getting dumber, you know, because the people are less educated because they're putting that stuff up and makes the people less educated. So you have to rise above like all the mainstream media garbage, and then you have to inform yourself and saturate yourself with the right information so that you can help others, and you can be a leader in this community. And it doesn't take much at all. It doesn't take much to be a leader at all. You just need a small group of dedicated individuals that are willing to endure and are willing to put their bodies on the line and their names on the line and putting themselves out there with courage and just welcoming everybody. I try not to like micromanage people. I try to welcome everybody. This is a family-friendly event, and we welcome everyone because it affects us all. So thank you so much for supporting everything, and thank you guys. It's been such an awesome day. You know, if you guys are willing to march, I'm still down. You guys just let me know. And we also have a speaker. He wants to touch on the Resistance is Fertile event. I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar about this, but I'm a local journalist as well, an activist, and I was covering Raymond Ventura. You can find me on Facebook, Martin Luther King, and I was covering this event, and I believe a lot of it was heading towards the right direction, and this is leading us to this is the right step right here. This is one of the first steps, and this is huge for us here in Phoenix. So again, we have a speaker from one of the organizers for Resistance is Fertile.
I don't know how many people were here last year. It was around May Day, and there was a Resistance is Fertile event that was held in this area. It actually started in the same spot. Well, basically, I just wanted to kind of tell a story about it. So, how many people, does anybody know how long that kind of blighted land over there has been empty? Does anybody know how long that lot's been sitting there for? Yeah, a long time. I think 6 or 7 years. It was 6 years last year. So there's empty space here. It's a Canadian company that owns it, and they're just kind of waiting for, hopefully, probably the housing market to come back so they can capitalize upon that land. But so we looked at it and we're like, well, there's many people from Tempe that looked at it, many community members, people from the greater Phoenix area looked at it, and we're like, well, it might be interesting to try and build a community garden, a park. You know, a place where people can use, what's that? Edible forest? So yeah, for the community to come together and decide how they want to use that space. Of course, that everybody knows that goes against what? Well, it goes against capitalism, but it goes against somebody's private property rights. I mean, but I think the issue is a matter of whether somebody's using it or not. Right now it's sitting there, it's not even a dirt lot, it's a stone lot. And so some of us got together, some families came out. It was a family-friendly event put together by anarchists. Watch out. Yeah. So, so we assembled here at the farmers market, marched across the street. We're met by the Tempe police, I don't know, with riot group. They're worried because anarchists were involved, and it was a family-friendly event. We were peaceful, so we marched right by them. So they stood there in riot gear for I think a couple hours, protecting this space. And so we marched over to public land, right over the way, because there's a right of way over here. And we built a little park, and then some people came out and built some kind of haphazard kind of garden spaces and things like that, and planted some stuff. 3 days later, it was torn down by Tempe Police Department. But I mean, the issue was like, we ask ourselves, what do we want to do in terms of, well, what do we think of as an alternative? And what spaces do we have to practice that alternative in? And that was the idea of the getting together, for a community to get together and decide what should we do with our community. The space is in our community because no one else is using that space. And so, I mean, I think that that's kind of when, you know, because I mean, people heard some of the anarchists here talking about capitalism during the march and things like that. But that's what they're pointing at. If you want a practical example of what they're talking about when they're talking about that. So somebody privately owns that. We know that if you go and trespass on that, you'll be violating somebody's private property rights. But we're like, well, no one's using it, and no one's going to be using it. And so why wouldn't a community get together and try and do things? I mean, some people from Casey Moore's, some of the people that work at Casey Moore's tried to have kickball games there. Because they're like, when they see an empty lot, so like, let's go use it. Same thing in mind. And then they were blocked from using it. They were blocked from getting together and playing kickball in an empty lot. So, I mean, I just wanted to tell a story. You know, I'm not here to grandstand or anything like that, but it's just to tell a story about thinking about a practical alternative and a way to do it. And then if you're like, well, we can't do that because somebody owns it, then, you know, there's where we'll part ways as far as what we think about practical solutions to doing things. Either you think we should just use empty spaces that nobody's using for our community, or you're just gonna, or we'll just stand here and be pushed onto the sidewalks and say, no, you don't get to use any of those other spaces. So, but thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Woo! Jeff, is that timer?
All right, seems like everybody seems like they kind of want to march again. I just wanted to make a couple quick announcements. If you want to be involved in like an email list or a contact list, please sign the email list at the GMO-free Arizona booth, and that should help you get on the email list and get updated on all the events regarding GMOs here in Arizona. Also, I wanna give a shout out to Daryl from the Tempe Farmers Market.
Yeah.
He's the one that it was all up to him, man. Like I was thinking, you know, this whole thing that we should have the march starting at the Tempe Farmers Market, and honestly, I couldn't get a hold of him, but one of the organizers got a hold of him, and it was really all up to him. So if you could give us a big thank you, and maybe, you know, like go inside the store and say hi. They're very nice people. You know, we encourage you to come back here to the Tempe. You know, come back to the Tempe's Farmers Market if you live close, and you know, do your grocery shopping if you need to. And about the march, we will be marching right now, and as well as Freedom Phoenix. They supported us. They donated shirts, water, and I encourage you guys to go over to Freedom's Phoenix booth as well. Ernie Hancock's radio show, check that out. And we'll be marching here shortly.
Hi, everybody. Raise your hands if you've had any medical complications that could possibly be connected to GMOs. Anybody, or raise your hands if you know somebody who has medical complications that might be connected to GMOs. I'm suspecting there's a lot more. What's that? Okay, so it's like some of these things we don't know because there's no research out there. But I wanted to point out there's this wonderful pamphlet at this booth here that is Doctor's Health Warning, Avoid Genetically Modified Foods, and it actually finally has some science in it. That's one of the things our doctors will tell us, well, there's no science behind this. I happen to be very, very fortunate that I worked with a doctor who recognized that I had food allergies and took me from not being able to work and being sick and on 7 different kinds of medications, got me off these things. Then I found Trader Joe's and, you know, was able to avoid a lot more of the GMOs. Grew my own food, and amazingly my health improved. And so I want to point that out. This isn't just about let's battle the corporations, etc. This is really a public health issue. You know, that our public health, the health of our children, the health of our country, and we pay billions and billions of dollars just for heart bypass. I think $5 billion I heard per year on heart bypass. You know, we don't know scientifically what these are connected to or what they're not, but this is a great pamphlet. You can get it over in this booth here, and they're asking a donation to support them. $1 is a pretty big donation. for a pamphlet, that really
Well,
helps.
folks,
Lets everybody get that.
I'm gonna
But
split on
these
out
and
of here.
pass these out to your medical providers.
It's getting really hot.
And show people that there really is some precedence behind this.
I worked a 12-hour shift last night, and I got a 40-mile drive home.
Hi, I'm Irene Marquez. I'm one of the organizers of the event.
So that's it from March on Monsanto in Tempe, Arizona, a suburb of Phoenix. This is where it's at here in Arizona, in the Phoenix area anyhow. I think they got something going on up north in Flagstaff and in Tucson also. So hope you all enjoyed it. This is OSA, I'm gone.